Welcome to Legacy by Design podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we design it on purpose.
Hello, my name is Terence Shigg, and I am the founder and president of a company that I have named Legacy by Design. Legacy by Design is designed to be a company that inspires people to grow into who they were designed to be. This is episode number 1. So you get to start here at the beginning and hear everything from the start and join the movement before it becomes a trend, I guess I would say. So you can be one of the early adopters, as Simon Sinek would say. With that said, I just want to, first of all, thank you for joining me here and let you know what this is all about. I came up with the mission statement about a year back, and that mission statement was to teach individuals and organizations how to develop and implement positive growth systems that create autonomy and harmony. And then it changed a little bit, and it became that lead to autonomy and agency. And that was a significant change for me, because I thought that the word agency means that you have some control over all of this, that you have a say-so in all of this. And that was the beginning of me realizing how important it is to not just have a mission statement for yourself and for your life, but to have a guide that gives you direction when you're trying to make decisions, when you're looking for encouragement, when you're trying to figure out, why am I doing this? That mission statement stands out. Now, you see the picture, if you're watching the video above me, that's a black swan. Shout out to Isabel. She's the artist that drew that for me. So if you're looking for some artwork, Isabel Garcia, she's on Instagram, and I'll put it in the notes if you want to look her up. So I'm going to read you the definition of a black swan. A black swan person. There's a black swan event, and there's a black swan person. A black swan person refers to an individual who is unique, rare, and unexpected, embodying the principles of the black swan theory. This term can be used to describe someone with a rare talent, or to describe a person whose life has been profoundly changed by a surprising and improbable event that was unforeseeable beforehand. And that's what Legacy by Design was designed to be. To be an entity, an organization that would change people's lives, that would give people the opportunity to become what they truly wanted to be. I grew up I wouldn't say we were poor. We were probably closer to middle class, in between that middle class and poor, but we always had what we needed. My parents worked hard, worked well, were very good at what they did. My dad worked at a church for over 30 years, and he was the janitor, the maintenance man, the security guard, the deacon, the counselor, the church father, anything that was needed, the cook, the chef, he did it. And he did it because that was who he was and out of the passion of his heart. And that was his calling. My mom worked for the federal government, for the Air Force specifically, for well over 30 years. And she worked as a contract specialist. So a contract specialist is someone that when the government wants to go and buy something and they have to get bids on it, well, the contract specialist is the one that has to go and get those bids and then give that to the people that make the decisions. And she did that. She's very professional. She did it very well. She was promoted over the years and retired from there. So growing up, to me, it was the idea of providing for my family in a way that was stable, in a way that was secure, and working for the government was the perfect idea, perfect opportunity for that. Back in the day when I was getting into my working years, the saying was there's always work at the post office. And that was the joke, but the reality of it was that we always wanted a job that we could be secure in, that we knew that we were going to get a check on a certain day and we'd have benefits. And that's the way things have been set up. And so made perfect sense. I fell right into that line. So I worked for the federal government for 27 years. I worked in law enforcement. I was loyal. I got promoted. I was part of a union. I was president of a union. I was vice president of a national union. Also went back and got my degree, my master's degree, became a licensed therapist. This little piece of paper over here. And also was the executive director of a nonprofit. And all of those things, and this was before I even had my mission statement, but I learned over the years the things that I was good at, the things that I really enjoyed. And I really enjoyed teaching people. I really enjoyed counseling and coaching people and allowing people to really flourish. And I tried to do that in every avenue, in every opportunity that I have. I remember after I got my master's degree and I got my license to practice as a therapist, and I was working in law enforcement. So I go to the powers that be, because I wasn't a supervisor. I was just one of the cogs in the wheel, so to speak. And I go to my supervisor's supervisor, so one of the chiefs, and I ask him and say, hey, I got this degree. I want to give back and help people. And he said, he listened to me, and I gave my spiel of, how mental health is important and how we could do this, and I would be willing to help with people. And he looked at me as if I, had three horns coming out of my head. And later on, I realized that every time I offered to do something, it was almost as if they were trying to figure out what my angle was, as if I was trying to get something from them. When in actuality, just part of my nature is if I know something, if I can help, I feel an obligation to try and do that. And I don't think that that's what he was used to. So he listened to me, and after a while, he escorted me to another office with another gentleman and had me talk to him, who escorted me to another gentleman, had me talk to him, who escorted me back to the front door. Needless to say, nothing was done there. But that was my beginning to realize that everyone's not going to understand your calling. Everybody's not going to be a part of your tribe, and that's okay. But this idea of what makes you you and your values and your gift, and putting that in someone else's structure is very difficult unless you know who you are and what you're doing. Now, this took me 27 years to figure out, and I'm hoping by this podcast and some of the programs that I offer, I can speed that process up for you a little bit. And part of the lesson that I've learned over the years is that the environment matters, but the awareness is way more important. Meaning knowing who you are, what your values are, why you do it, what your mission is, what your mission statement is. And that's the place that I've gotten to now. So fast forward, I go through my career, work for the Bureau of Prisons, which I always liken to putting a puppy in with porcupines, because that was one of the most interesting jobs and most emotionally taxing jobs for me. Especially for someone like myself who is very compassionate and a problem solver. And then you put me in an environment where you're overrun by the emotions, negative energy of other people. And then they give you an unsolvable problem, meaning all these people are in jail. You can't do anything about it. So that was an interesting experience. But the one thing I did learn from there is how to better communicate with anybody, from the richest person in the world to the poorest person in the world. And I hope as we go through these podcasts and as you are exposed to some of the programs that I've developed, that will be something that you'll learn too, is how to better communicate and how to just be curious. Curious about yourself, curious about others, curious about the world. And you will be surprised at how much that will help you function in any environment that you're in. From my example of being a puppy with porcupines in a prison, that's a lot of peas, but you know what I mean, to whatever job that you're doing. And these episodes, I'll also interview people. I'll interview some of the people that I'm mentoring and I'm teaching. This episode number 1, I have special guests at the end. That's Reggie Brooks. He is a young entrepreneur who is building enterprises, and we're working together to build a few more. So I will make sure that stay tuned for that and listen in, or make sure you listen in for that. But the overall purpose of this exercise, this movement, and I invite you to join the tribe, will be on YouTube and Facebook, and you'll hear about things throughout the course of the podcast. But I really want you to be able to enjoy your life. Mogodot, who is a former executive with Google, who now works on his own, developing some things, but happiness is one of his things. And he gave a great description of why people aren't happy. And the description, in a nutshell, was that our reality, our current experiences, are different than our expectations. And that difference causes friction, which causes unhappiness. And so the solution, the way to fix that, for lack of a better term, is to have our reality and our expectations in line. And that's all within your control. Your reality is controlled by you, believe it or not. Your expectations are controlled by you. And that's one of the frameworks I want you to discover as we go through this whole process of Legacy by Design, is your sense of agency and control. And hopefully, if I do this right, it'll give you a little hope in recognizing that things aren't as bad as they seem, as bad as the world makes them out to be, and as gloomy as they foretell it to be. Because if we start now building our legacy so that we could pass it on for generations to come, now we're impacting the future in the current place right now. And Legacy by Design is really here to foster those dreams, to get you to remember what you wanted to be before you became a realist, before you stopped dreaming, before you believed everything the world was telling you is that you have to get a job and you have to have something stable and you have to make sure that you can provide for your family and something that has insurance and something that's going to be around for years. Again, not telling you to quit your job, live on the street, and sing Kumbaya. But I am hoping that I can convince you that life is more than a paycheck, that there's a way to do it without sacrificing that dream. I had a friend Arturo. And he would tell me the story about him when he was growing up, and he would see his mom getting dressed up to go out, and his mom would say a phrase to him, and the phrase was "Vamos para viejo." And the way that he explained it to me, in my limited knowledge of the language, is that means we're all getting older. That means enjoy your life now, because the future isn't guaranteed. This is the way I interpret it anyway. Feel free to send me a message if you know the phrase and what that means to you. I'm more than willing to learn. But vamos para viejo. We're all getting older. So let's enjoy the time that we have now and be able to pass on more than just houses, more than just bank accounts and savings and stocks, but to really pass on a system of growth, of happiness, of connection, of community. Because that's what this is all about. We weren't meant to do this stuff by ourselves. Otherwise, it'd be one person on the planet. But there's, 5 billion now? I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. So stay tuned. Stay with us. We're going to give you some tools. We're going to give you some systems. We're going to give you some people that'll give you some examples to show you that it's not just me. It's not just you, that we're all in this together. And if we do this right, we all can grow and we all can be successful and happy. So from the businessman to the first responder to the civilian to the dad, mom, middle-aged young man just trying to find his way, join the tribe, because we're going to give you some value. We're going to give you valuable tools to improve your life. Another one of my sayings that you'll hear me repeat over and over again, along with my mission statement of those positive growth systems, is if you want to be successful, then create something of value that is in alignment with your values. Create something of value that is in alignment with your values. So for me, my mission statement is to teach, is to show people how to grow, is to spark that fire that has gone out and been stamped out by others in reality. And Legacy by Design is designed to do that, to show you how to strive, not just survive, how to grow so that you can pass on wisdom, not just money. Well, thank you for being here for episode number 1, and stay tuned for the interview with Reggie. And then every week I'll put out a short thing, just touch bases with you and have some more interviews and have some people and tools along the way to help you and enrich you. All right. See you soon. Be well and be blessed. Welcome back to Legacy by Design. I'm Terence Shigg, your host, and I'm here with today's guest, Mr. Reggie Brooks.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, Reggie.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
Always great.
I know we've talked, and I know who you are, and I know what you've done. Fantastic human being, a damn good boxer too, and a businessman beyond his years, as far as I'm concerned, because he's got not only the book knowledge, but kind of the street knowledge to know how to do things and get them done. So with that said, give us a little bit of your history and how you got started.
Okay. So yeah, like T said, Terrence, I call him T. We got it like that. I call him T. Like T said, I box, I do videography, I do photography. So I'm really kind of like a businessman when it comes to the aspect of making money. But then as far as a businessman as far as making my money make money itself, that's where T came in. And that's where we've been game planning and learning. So as far as now, I'm focused on creating new businesses that create autonomy. But then what I've already done is commercial, real estate, rentals, car rentals, home rentals, and my videography and photography. And that's really all about me.
All right. With that comes the next question that I would think, and I think everybody, every entrepreneur, every business person kind of goes through this phase of, that sounds good for you, but how do I do that? So if somebody were to come to you and tell them, oh, I can't do that. Well, Reggie's a boxer and Reggie's in the real estate, or T, he does that whole counseling and coaching thing. I can't do that. What would you tell them? Hello, my name is Terence Shigg. I am the founder and president of Legacy by Design. I would like to personally invite you to our first ever free webinar. It'll be on Facebook Live on December 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. If you want to live a better life, if you want to strive rather than survive, then tune in and we'll learn some tools and talk about some programs that I have available that can not only enrich your life, but enrich your pockets. Look forward to seeing you there. It'll be on Facebook Live on my Facebook page, which is Legacy by Design. The design is spelled DE$IGN. That's common spelling, Legacy by Design, DE$IGN. I look forward to seeing you there.
I'm a firm believer that anybody can do anything that you want. Anything, if God put it in your mind to think about doing it, it's already done. Just a version of you have not been created to do it yet. So here's an example. You see somebody hiking a mountain 3 miles high. Dude, I'm 400 pounds. I can never do that. But if you start off doing 1 mile a day, 0 elevation, and then elevate to 2 miles a day, and then 3 miles a day with slightly raised elevation, by improving little by little every single day, you can do anything that you want. You'll become a person that won't allow yourself to fail.
I like that. That's a great example. And one of the things I always like to remind people of is always remember that you've come a long way to even get to that point to have that thought. So you've already improved, so your evidence is already there.
Exactly.
And use that. Go, okay, I've done some things, because there's been something in your life that you've done that you're looking back right now going, oh man, I know how I did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's the same principle. You just supercharge it by recognizing it and using it going forward. And that's what we've really been talking about, is how to magnify not only our skills and gifts and abilities, but how to do it in such a way that we don't have to put in so much time. So time doesn't equal money, so that money can make money on its own, and you have more, more assets and less liabilities.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yes, one of the things that T emphasizes is being able to be prosperous, but enjoy your prosperity. Most people spend every day, they want to make 500K a year, 300K a year, but have no time to spend that 300K that they're working so hard to make.
Yeah.
Now, our goal is to be able to be prosperous and be happy at the same time, and be happy with your family at the same time, and your friends, and enjoy the time that you actually have. Instead of trading your time for money, use that money to enjoy your time, and the money makes itself.
Yes, absolutely. Is there any like suggestions or anything that you would like to give to somebody thinking, I want to try that, I want to do that? What's like a first step? Is it a mindset? Is it an action? Is it call Reggie?
First thing I would say, slow down. Slow down and actually think about exactly what you want. It's an exercise that we did where T had us draw a circle. We have 3 triangles, and in each triangle, we had 3 squares.
Right.
These squares, and in each square, it was something different. But in the end goal, we had our end goal, and then we had our feelings, and we had our thoughts, and we had our actions.
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Our actions, and all of these are connected to our end goal. How are you feeling? How are these feelings going to prepare you for your goal? What are you doing? How are you doing? How are your actions going to bring you closer to your goal? And in the process of this, what are you thinking? How are you feeling? What thoughts are coming through your head when you make this action? After you do this, is it positive? Do you feel like you made improvement, or do you feel like it set you back? So first, slow down, figure out your goal, and create a process to get straight to that goal. Don't make your goals too high. Some people, I want to make $1 million this year. People that have never made $1 million before, you can't expect yourself to just make $1 million and you've never done it before. Let me make $10,000 this year. Now, how can $10,000 turn to $20,000? How can 20,000 turn to 40,000? So some people may not move as slow, but slow down and actually decide on what you want and make a game plan to get to that specific goal, and then everything else is grass.
And I like that idea, and especially the idea that figure out clearly what you are shooting for. Figure out that goal, because once you figure out the goal, then you can go, okay, this is what I need to do to get to that goal. Okay, if this didn't work, then I need to do something else to get to that goal. Exactly. And those are the things that give you the motivation, give you the encouragement, and give you the feedback, honestly, that you need so that you can continue to get better. And that's what it's all about. And once you learn that process, now you can teach that process not only to the people in your group, but to your family. And I heard somebody talking the other day, and they were talking about how they became an entrepreneur, but as an entrepreneur, now they're instilling that in their kids. And that's something that I'm starting to instill in my little one is, okay, you want to go on a trip and you want to do this? Okay, then we have to figure out a business so we can make money so we can do that. And that's a whole different animal than, okay, you got to do chores and walk around the house and clean this up. But when they have agency in it and a part in its creation, it's a whole different thing.
I love that.
Man.
I love that. It's so rare for adults nowadays. Also, it's so rare for adults nowadays to teach their kids the actual real life lessons.
Right.
But it's also, I can't blame too many adults because some adults themselves don't understand.
Right.
So, but that's a blessing in itself. Like,
man,
to be able to teach your daughter, to be able to have the knowledge in order to teach your family,
right,
your kids, the ones around you, all the knowledge you've taught me. We haven't said nothing about what T's done for me, but man, I feel like I'm his son too.
Right. And that is truly what legacy by design, and that's why I truly built it. And as me and Reggie do more things together, I know that he's going to pass this on to other people. And that's how we start this thing. This thing is a movement. It's not just we're going to go out there and get ours. It's really about learning how to do it so that we can teach other people to do it, so that they can do it and pass it on to somebody else. And the mindset and the attitude are just as important as the outcome.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. Well, all right. I want to thank you for stepping by and hanging out with me for a little bit. You guys stay tuned. We got big things to come. You're gonna see it.
Big things, big plans.
All right, brother. Legacy by Design would like to thank our sponsor, Peace Pack. Peace Pack is dedicated to forming a more perfect union through transformative action that bridges divides and builds stronger communities across America. Peace Pack believes that meaningful change happens when citizens come together with shared purpose, innovative solutions, and unwavering commitment to democratic ideals. If you'd like to learn more about Peace Pack, go to peacepack.com. That's PIECEPAC.com.